Hello and welcome to this playthrough of Factorio, where I am building a megabase on Earth. I am using a mod, Cities of Earth, focusing on the Old World Hemisphere. My goal is to reach 10,000 science per minute with a rail-based design. The resources are set to maximum size and density, and biters and pollution are turned off. The mod list is shown in the description, as well as a link to my Twitch channel, High Speed. Please come visit me there. Questions and comments are welcome. Thank you for watching. I forgot to turn the music back up for y'all. Well, I'm going to go ahead and lay it out anyways. Two 2-2s. That'll be pretty fast. I have a couple of those. Well, I have 2 1-2s, I think. Yeah, it's a 2-1-2. This is because I want the string to be fast as fuck, boy. Anyhow. Now, the only reason for this locomotive right here is to allow is to allow space in between the wagons for processing of materials without having to do a bunch of belt weaving. So with all of the knowledge that I have, this is what I would have built. Now I can't build this because I'd have to start all over. I'm not sure about this part. I'm not even sure about the lamps, but Yep, that's still screwed. Good thing I'm not doing song requests tonight because Spotify's broken for me. So that's the unloader. Obviously, there would be some green wires involved. This is a 484 train. And then the loader Forgot about that. So these are all wrong. Also, I like to cap my chest like that so that they're even. I think that's an arithmetic combinator. So I think that has to go there. And then the same thing here. I think this is just a decider combinator. I haven't decided yet. Now, I always fuel where I unload, so I would be putting loaders for fuel at places like this. And I try to load in the butt. But that doesn't always work. Yeah, Zoe, there was a discussion there. Protocol did a long lot of research. If you go to my Discord in the Factorio channel, Protocol set up a bunch of testing and stuff, and unloading into splitters apparently is significantly faster than unloading into belts because it's not waiting for space in the belt. It's alternating between, but the splitter is alternating between the two belts, and so you're unloading significantly faster. I don't know how much faster. I haven't done it. I'm interested to see how it works. So that is what I'm going to try. If I could start all over, that's what I'd do. I can't, so I won't, but that's... Not complete. It's not wired. Yeah, we'll see. Oh, I won't need any of those. Do you know you can run with power poles? So what's your input? So that's going to request a train if anything is less than 0. Now, I don't know how to do a second train on this design yet. That's a big deal. The 2 negative limits on the constant covenant allow for a second decider that calls on the train. 2 negative limits. I don't know what you mean about 2 negative limits, but I am curious as to what you mean. Because I, right now, I don't know how to call a second train. Excuse me on that. Constant combinator just puts out values, puts them on the wire. It's called a constant combinator for that. It's just like saying, I want this value on this circuit. I want a value of pink equal to 1. Channel pink gets a value of 1. It's like assigning a variable. So I got to figure out the loader and I got to figure out that other thing. I'm going to change Mango. I'm going to redo everything again. Not everything. I'm not going to go to a 484. Because to go to a 484, I would have to make this longer, and it would no longer fit in this boundary. Because a 484 would make this longer, and if this were longer, I would have to shove things around. And I've got this power pole to contend with. So putting this here would significantly restructure this. So I'm not going to add the extra locomotives, but I am going to add the loaders and unloaders and then whatever combinators I fucking figure out. Water Fountain Water! Thank you for the follow. And for being a follower, you get your name on a wagon. The cargo wagon your name is on a train that feeds green circuits to speed 3 modules. Currently, you're resting. You're on vacation. Or, if you're European, you're on holiday. Thank you for the follow. What I'm imagining is something along the call train 1 if below this value, call a second train if the first value is true and below a second set value. Well, I don't know if I need the first part of the and. I am currently restructuring how my trains work for about the 4th time, 9th time, I don't know. All of them are very painful because I've got 1,000 train stations throughout Africa and India and Russia and Saudi Arabia. And hey, to everybody who's viewing, I do have a YouTube channel, and I would appreciate a thing on YouTube because I want to get to 500 subscribers on YouTube so that I can try and monetize it, and then maybe I can do this even more, or more. So my YouTube channel is right there. I'd appreciate the sub. You're adding a splitter over the existing chest setup. If you still only need 1 belt, then the existing save a splitter and keep up just fine. Is that on unloader? I gotta read back on what you wrote previously. Unload setup. Well, yes, I'm only going to be using 1 belt. And you're saying if I do this. So you're saying if I switch to this, if you still need 1 belt, then the existing save a splitter and keep up just fine. Really? Well, I'd also be saving underbelts too. Alright. Thanks. Well, that saves me a bit of work. But Sig, hello. I am redesigning station logic because I've screwed it up a couple times. I'm going to set this aside for a moment. This is going to tell me that I need one train. But the question persists. How do I get this to tell me I need 2 trains? Also, these are all the same value and always going to be the same value. But they have to be discrete. Of course I need help with circuits. King, that's like saying, do you have too many trains? Oops. That wasn't supposed to happen. Yes, King. Max 2 trains. I don't even know if I need the second max 2 trains. I know if I don't have a second train and a stacker, then things get locked up. So the question is, where do I put the stacker? I prefer to have the stacker on the unloads, although I've got a stacker on the loader as well, which is fine. But also keep in mind that I need to minimize the number of combinators that I'm using. So what I was doing is I had a second combinator here that was looking at, like, it would be this, and it would be like putting out, I don't know, A, because I did it backwards. And then I'd be looking at this, and I'd be going A, B, C, D, you know, all those other things at negative 2,000, because here's the thing, and it's not 2,000. When I can unload 1 train, I want 1 train. When I can unload 2 trains, I want 2 trains. So I've got 4 unloaders, or 4 chests, and a wagon can hold 4,000. So 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000. So I'm looking at when this chest, and because they're balanced, when this chest has 1,000, no, it's not 1,000. When it has 3,000 in it is when I want another train. I want it to call a train when it has 3,000. I want it to call a second train when it has 2,000. So these are all wrong. Sea of green. So in theory, I would do something like that. But I won't. So if I set this to set something to 2 in constant combinator, huh? So I'll set 2 to 2. And then I have to use an arithmetic combinator, I'll bet. I'm going to send this at J. I don't understand where you're going, King. I mean, I've got a decider combinator. Sure, I can change it to anything else. All right, I'll change it to Z for right now. So I'm trying to see where you're going with this. So, if if Z is less than whatever, I'll put Z. If Z is less than whatever, well, what is whatever? I'm going off of if these things are negative. If any of these values are negative, oh. Yeah, well, it's combinators. They're kind of hard to explain. N is -8. I need to fix that so that I don't confuse myself. You're short. K and Q are negative. Where is Q? Yeah, OPQ. Yeah, you would be negative. You're supposed to be. KL. I don't like that I've got Q and O. That is confusing. I'm going to have to change all these letters. I might have to go back to A, B, C, D. because that's not working. So the basic concept is I'm converting this signal, whatever's in this chest, to the value of B, so that I can look on this network and I can see what B is. And then I'm looking at a constant combinator that is outputting a negative value of what I want. So when the chest falls below this value, I want a train to be summoned. When any chest falls below its specified value, I want a train to be summoned. Right? This will work. I am certain of this. The question comes up, how can I manipulate this system as easily as possible to get a second train if it falls below another value? Right? So let's presume for a second that I did something like this, which I'm not going to do because the O in the Q. Also, God only knows how much effect this is going to have on the network. Now I have to do this because the cheesy method I was using doesn't work in so much as I have this lockup situation here where wagon 7, that's why I didn't want to use A, B, C, and D, is because I'm using them down here. That's just, yeah, whatever. Wagon 7, for whatever reason, didn't have enough content, got unloaded and processed. But that means that wagon 7 on the loader side is also now broken because wagon 7 on the loader side doesn't have enough content to fill itself. And therefore, wagon 7 will, and the way the train is set up is that the train is set to come till full. So if the train never gets full because wagon 7 never has enough stuff, the train is going to sit here forever. Alright? And that's the situation I have here, is that wagon 7 never gets filled, so it never leaves. And because it never leaves, it never empties these other ones. And so that it never calls a train to resupply it, and this is a deadlock because of that. And so I need to come up with another way of handling the fact that I need to call the train appropriately. I'm not doing that right now. So I'm looking to redesign these stations again. I'm also, while I'm here, going to use a simplified loader Because that's all I need. I've overbuilt my loaders. As Mucky said, I'm looking for steady state, not peak state. And 6 of these would give me a peak state, but 4 of them gives me a steady state. That was good timing. King. Yes, Zoe. 0 fucks given. Hi, Daniel. I need more water. I'm out. So I'll be back in a moment. I destroyed purple science this way. That's what my new loaders will look like. Thanks to Mango, but not like this. Always continue in the primary direction until required to turn. Arithmetic. Load station, possible load of train or wagon. Decider. If this number is bigger than set train limit maximum, put out that number. You can even use anything smaller. Load station, possible load of train or wagon. Don't quite follow, but I'm hoping to. Yeah, unloads are different than loads, right? So I'm gonna transition when I get back from I'm gonna go get some water. When I get back from getting some water, I'm gonna transition to work on this loader station because it might be easier for my brain to process. BRB. Okay. Let's keep beating it up. I'll keep blue or cyan. So space and station, possible load of train. Just calculated how many trains station could get. And then you probably want a maximum train limit, so it'd be checking if the possible train limit is higher than the maximum. See, those are all good, but I'm trying to minimize how many combinators I'm using. And so I'm willing to take some risks and make some assumptions. The other design I had was using like 30 combinators per station. And it was too many, and it was breaking everything. So now I have to come up with a different solution. That doesn't involve so many combinators. So I'm doing a bunch of experimentation to try and come up with ways to do it that are, and you know, part of it may be that I just simply lose the battle for how many combinators I use, or how it works. Because there are a lot of good solutions that work when you've got a couple hundred stations, maybe. But I've got 1,000. But we're not putting it on the red. We're just feeding it directly to it. That little side load after the splitter, the unloader, bugs me. I think you will wind up with uneven chests. Yes, I will, Mango. It bugs me too. Let me explain to you. I'll take a detour here and show you why it works. So, taking a look at this. This is the result of what I saw happening. Okay? Let me come over here to this red circuit. If these are straight, this, you got to look at these as a pair, but it's always going to pull from the inside. And it's always going to pull from the inside. So we're getting copper cable pulled from the inside, green circuits pulled from the inside, copper cable pulled from the inside, and plastic pulled from the inside. And if we follow this circuit network back, ignoring the copper cable, green circuits and plastic, right? Make what without the splitter? I could probably do this without the splitter, yes. I could probably just run this straight into that, and that straight into that, because it's always going to be one belt. Oh, the assembly machine without the splitter. You think I could do this without the splitter, huh? Yeah, I could curve here, go down, feed that, curve here. Nah, I don't think I can. Fucking faceless. No, I'm not putting red and green on the same belt. That's... Okay, thanks. Remember, this is a generic solution. This is a generic solution for all of my unloaders. I've got many different designs here, and they all use the same basic structure. So when I look at this, I'm not looking at how do I optimize red circuit loading. I'm looking at how do I consistency across as many of these designs as I physically can. How can I get as many of these to look and feel the same so that I don't have mental mistakes of Mike with a raid. Thanks, Mike. I hope you had a good day. I had you open for a little while. Please give Mike a follow. He's a great and brilliant streamer. One of my favorite people to learn from. So I am, no, I learned a lot from Mike. I really enjoyed the SpaceX. So, Fat Boy Not So Slim, thanks for the follow. And for following, you get your name on a cargo wagon. Your cargo wagon is a red circuit provider in India. Hopefully you've got your vaccinations. And welcome. And Mike, if you want that vehicle sticker, is the mod that I use that puts people's names on trains. I even put them on spiders, but I've got people with their names on locomotives and stuff like that. I've got it automated so that when a follow happens, it randomly chooses a cargo wagon. My MegaBase goal is 10K SPM. I used to have it on the screen as a thing. I am on Earth. I started over here in Europe and built a little tiny base and then grew it to where I could get bots. And once I had bots, then I took over Europe and I built this infrastructure factory in Prague. And I say Prague because cities of Earth can have little teleporters. Thanks, Witzig. Thanks for stopping in and for your help. Thank you. So I designed these these rocket silo complexes. There's 3 of them, and each one can launch 4 rockets at a time. Everything you see here is necessary to support 4 simultaneous rocket launches. All the resources and stuff like that. Oh, good. Yeah, Mucky was on Discord with me a little while earlier. We were discussing. I've got to the point in this 10K MegaBase that it's no longer an engineering problem, it's a logistics problem. And I've got it solved for launching rockets. This thing will launch rockets all day long. I might have an iron problem right here, which I can fix with another unloader, but well, Mike, you better hurry up because when version 2.0 of Factorio comes out, it's probably not going to continue because I'm not sure how I can do a multi-world planet Earth, right? Because I mean, I have multiple maps, but depending on how it works out, it's like, well, do I do like America and one planet replacement? Yeah, I could do that. That's the most leading scenario. There's just one little problem right now. I coded it so that the surface name is Earth. And